What it do? Thank you for tuning in for another edition of Live on Sunday. It is I, your greatest host in the known universe. I go by the name King Crowder, tapping in with you with another FBA teaching moment, man. First off, you know we got to address what's going on. All the FBA women out there, I want you to know something. Happy Mother's Day from the bottom of my heart. I hope you got to celebrate it. I hope your family called you. I hope you got to check in with all of your family members. Let me give you a gem right quick that I said earlier. We look at time incorrectly. We have to look at time as in, man, my mother, I haven't lived near her, y'all, since I was 17. I went to college, moved away, traveled, working, etc., etc. We have to understand we don't have 30 more years with our parents. We have 30 more times to celebrate Mother's Day. We have 30 more times to celebrate Father's Day. We have 30 more times to go to our grandparents' birthdays. That is how we have to count it. I know we say it in the term of years, but you got to think about this, y'all. We are only here for a finite amount of time. Our imprint, our thumbprint, everything that we must do has to be man central, has to be worth it. So remember, you only have 30 more times to actually spend with your parents for Mother's Day. 30 more Mother's Day that you have in your repertoire. Make sure you call them. Make sure you text them. Make sure you let them know that you love them. Make sure you let people in your family know that you appreciate them, because I don't want you to ever go through a point in life where you don't get to say the words off your chest in real time. And the reason why I say that is because, like I always tell y'all, I'm vulnerable with y'all. Y'all know that crowd of gang. We talk about everything. My brother was murdered last year, right? And even though we got to hung out, we did fun, we laughed, we chopped it up like bros do with the Crowder gang, I didn't know that was going to be my last time ever seeing my big bro alive. I didn't know that was the last time I would ever see Trayvon Crowder. And in that moment, even though it was good, even though we bought the bar out, even though we laughed, even though we joked, even though we smiled, there was things I wish I could have said to him, like, I love you to death, bro. Love you forever. I'm proud of you. It was so many things I think that you don't forget, that you may forget in time that you may have, and you don't. And that's the reason why I go so hard that we're going to celebrate them. Y'all don't know, basketball tournament in our hometown, guns up, gloves up, guns down, man, because that moment will forever change me, along with having another girl, along with being a father, along with being a leader, along with all the other titles I have to wear: father, man, husband, entrepreneur, businessman, worker, all those titles, man. It goes back into family. FBA families has always been different. FBA families have always been unique. And FBA families have always been the center of our culture. Book of the week. I read this book last month, Tax Loopholes. I know it's boring. I am not your financial guru. I am not your finance guy, but this book right here was a game changer. Number one, did you know every business meal or business luncheon is 50% deductible? Did you know you can qualify and have a tax deduction for your children for up to $14,000 per child? Did you know if you work or do something with mileage with your career path for your job, it is deductible by almost 60%? Did you know when you keep track of your miles and you drive and you do something with external time that you have to do something with, that it is a benefit for it? A lot of the information that we want to learn, you have to talk to an attorney. I'm not saying I am a tax attorney, but I'm saying the basic steps. As I'm going heavy into my journey myself, I want to give y'all the gems and stuff I've read. But Tax Loophole was an amazing read. It was detailed. It was thorough. It was easy to read. It was enjoyable. I am not a finance guy. I am not a guy that like reading number books. But to me, it hit different. So I want y'all to tell y'all want to add that to y'all library. And most importantly, I want y'all
share the live, share the live, share the live.
Let's get into tonight's topic, man. The media applies one standard to FBA, and to everyone else, they act like it doesn't exist. The media. We got to really dive into this, man. This story right here, the thumbnail today. If you do not know who he is the head coach for the New England Patriots. Why am I talking about this, Terrell? He ain't FBA King Crowder. Why are you talking about this? I'm talking about this because I want y'all to think about something. Did y'all know that his player on his team is Stephon Diggs? Did y'all know that the coach of this team was the person that had Stephon Diggs on his team? And we seen Stephon Diggs in the headlines every single week. If you do not know, let me update your files for a second. This brother was smashing the reporter for multiple years, possibly has the baby by the reporter while she's married, has multiple children, has multiple wives, and still gets the right to be a head coach in the NFL? What?
Brr, brr.
Let's say it again.
Man, what?
It's so shocking you see the double standards in real time. Think about this for a second, y'all. This coach's job, this gentleman's job is to be an upstanding man of integrity. I am not a moral police. I am never going to say cheating has to be one way in a relationship. I'm never going to say that you have to be this type of belief system. But I do believe that when we went so hard at Shannon Sharpe, Stephon Diggs, and others of that ilk who deserved it, why do I have to search, read, look up, and even pull up pictures of this couple? Can I say something, y'all? I'm going to go ahead and disclose it right now, y'all. Boston is ghetto.
Man, what?
The city of Boston is ghetto. Don't nobody want to say it, but y'all, Boston always got some scammy, shady stuff going on. If it's something with the, the movie show with the Catholic priests, if it's a cheating scandal with Tom Brady and them, if it's the coach allegedly cheating to win games, to allegedly defrauding the government, Boston, the city of Boston, I want to put y'all on notice. Y'all are ghetto.
Brr, brr.
I know they don't like to hear it. I know they use that word to demonize to talk about our children, but I want to go ahead and put the declaration out there. For a head coach to be smashing a reporter, for your owner to go to a newspaper to say, don't put the story out, for you to possibly have a baby mama with a cat that's married and you leaking her stories, and this is not national news, and you get to keep your job. I don't know what more of the epitome of ghetto, trifling, low down, dirty dog you gotta be to be moving like that. I don't know the man. I'm not talking about the man. I'm talking about the subject matter at hand. You feel me? Right, follow me. Shannon Sharpe, outside of the network, got involved with a young lady. We know. Did something that was uncomfortable, but the young lady leaked the information. Was immediately terminated from his employment. Mike Vrabel has alleged been having a reporter relationship, leaking secrets, having multiple escalations, doing unlawful things outside of his marriage, telling people on the team they must live to a certain standard while the coach getting down like this.
Man, what?
I just don't know what more news you need to know. How does he still have his job? How come he has not been fired yet? Like I always tell y'all, the reason why we have so many decentralized media outlets, conversation, and discourses like we do is because you lie in our very faces. We say the law is even. We say the law is connected. We say everybody is treated fairly and the same, but we got a head NFL coach with a potential baby mama, and he ain't fired. We got an open story about you going on a trip 6 years ago, and you still ain't been questioned. We have multiple allegations, and I do not see the fervor, the tenacity, the tweets, the talking heads, and multiple people talking about this online like they do for foundational Black American athletes. And if we don't call it out, and if we don't discuss it, who will? But what this is, y'all, this is a reminder session why you cannot believe or shut up on what they got going on, man. He wasn't. What's up, brother? Happy Mother's Day to y'all. Shout out to you, man. Happy Mother's Day to your FBA mother-in-law and my beloved FBA wife, my mother. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Okay, brother, get a job. Say it to my face, G. You know I ain't never scared. Say it to my face. Stephon Diggs was not treated fairly. He was not, though, man. What I'm saying, he wasn't treated fairly because we saw his name dragged in the mud all the time. We saw his publication with his things. I had to look up and try to find his head coach with his sneaky link, with his reporter girlfriend, and with multiple sources of allegations. What this is, FBA family, is that when we see points and narrative being painted about some people that represent us, we have to understand most of these media outlets do not have our best interests at hand. This is an iconic story that should be blasted all over the news. But we got Kyrie Irving retweeting, making national news. We got other people doing things less of a bigger issue than a coach that could potentially have a reporter as a baby mama. Man, I don't know much more controversial that has to be, but I want to know that we got to stop pretending we don't see these type of things. We got to. You know what else we got to stop pretending we don't see, y'all? And this is coming from the King Crowder right here, is that we don't see slow progress in our media outlets. If you haven't heard, there has been a black, robust uplift of black babies being born. You know, I'm part of that outlet. Let me go ahead and clap for it. Since the month of March, almost 800,000 black American babies have been born. We have seen a progress, an uptick, an updeal, an uplifting. I love this type of subject. The reason why I love this type of subject, because when you look on the news, the outlets, and you see things about black babies, it's always what we ain't doing. It's always what we ain't proving. It's always what is not getting done. What I am here is to shed light on a balanced point of view. What I am also here to do is to let you know, people that try to reap what they sow get the fruits of their labor in real time. And remember, this is a flashback moment. Y'all pay attention. Remember when I told y'all the Asian community was really going hard against affirmative action? Well, woo, I gotta hit a U-turn. Just turn around, yeah. Yo, let's swing the block. 2026 class for Asian Americans, they got their wake-up call. Let's pay attention.
Does not want to admit me because I'm Asian American, then there's not much I can do about that, because it's a part of me that I just can't get rid of.
Some of y'all just learned the hard way. You were not the competition. A lot of people really thought getting rid of affirmative action was going to give them more opportunities. If you move more black people out of the way, suddenly you the next person in line. No, that's not how this works. What you fail to understand is this. Black Americans weren't just in the race. We were the ones fighting to make sure that the race was fair in the first place. That wasn't competition. That was infrastructure. It's like seeing somebody hold a ladder steady and you kick it thinking you about to climb faster. Now the ladder gone and everybody on the ground. And here's the part that really stings. You thought removing black people would make all this easier. All it did was show you they weren't holding you back. They just weren't planning to let you in either. So I want to ask y'all, do you think this was a miscalculation by people who wanted to get rid of this? And now they're waiting.
What this is about, ladies and gentlemen, is that we got to do a follow-up check about things that are done to us. The affirmative action law was tried and true by Asian Americans who want to try it down because they believed and allegedly said that black Americans were taking spot in the academic school years. Since the law has went away, their numbers have went down. Ours have stayed steady. But what we have seen is that a reverse Uno card has been played, and I love it. The reason why I love it, we have to point out the inconsistencies. We have to point out the hypocrisy. We have to point out the blind loyalty. And the reason why we got to make sure we stand firm and highlight these things, y'all, because a lot of people get in your face and act stupid. They act like they don't understand. They act like they don't know why. They act like they don't understand what happened that changed the landscape of the law. And they act like white folks ain't being exactly who they've always been, who they've always are. And I don't see nothing wrong with it. When people show you who they are, you believe them. But to know that a law-like grunt lawsuit had to happen, you stood firm and said that black people were taking up spaces, and in real time, you get your bubble popped and a real discussion has to happen. I feel vindicated. I feel joyous. I feel alive inside. I actually feel like smiling. Because until we address the real issues at hand, the legacy admissions and other things, the problem will keep on going. And I, for one, don't feel bad. It is not our problem. It is not something we even worry about. But what this is a swing the block moment, FBI. I want y'all to swing the block. I want us to look around the corner. I want us to check and see how it's going. And when we ask how it's going, don't ask from a concerned point of view. Ask from a point of view where I feel disgusted. Ask from a point of view of I told you so. Don't make a connection. Keep going along our journey. But this is another chink in the armor to know we are moving in a positive direction. And the reason why this is a positive direction, we ain't got to fight for it. We ain't got to fight to be inclusive. We are fighting for our territory and to earn more marks in our point in history. The point of inclusivity, the point of understanding is gone. It's a far gone era. Right now, we are in the era of responsibility. And you are responsible for getting your legacy of missions done. You are responsible for channeling your activism movement. You are responsible for making your own things pop and happen. You are responsible for making sure that people observe and watch what you talk about. There is no more Black Americans channeling this subject. There is no more let's go along, get along. There is no more crash dummies. You have to build your own set of rules like we had to. And the reason why I love that subject, y'all, because I had people really arguing with me. Because I tell people all the time, I grew up in the foundation of Black American Freedom Town in a Black small city. I never looked at Harvard as my prestigious schools. It was always the HBCUs. It was a never not thought in my mind that we was a goal to go there. I know many people outside the country view that as a high mark, but I'm speaking strictly for me. That was never an opportunity to say, let's go to Harvard. My parents never talked about that. They wanted me to go to Howard, to Hampton, to Morehouse. That's what they pushed more on me, and that's what I would push more on my children. Not assimilation, but to have pride in our own cultural reference and understanding. Not what they say is a prestigious school, as we've seen. It's payola at the top. I pay you, you pay me, you take my exam. That's what's really happening. So are you really earning it through merit, or is it all just clout chasing? Are you really getting it out the mud, or are we just seeing how you feel in real time and what's happening? Because the one thing I love about this time and this era is the era of disclosure. The era of disclosure has been an active talking point on TikTok, but I'm going to share a few videos on that. But the era of disclosure is also exposing hypocrisy in real time. This is a financial assistance homeownership program. If you in the state of Georgia, Atlanta, I want
share the live, share the live, share the live.
And most importantly, I want you to tap in and zoom in. If you can't see it, let me make it bigger. If my audio listeners, there is a financial assistance for homeowner program for law economic development in the state of Georgia for Latinos. Let's zoom that back in. Hold on. There is a Latino Economic Development Center in Georgia. Wait a minute. Housing is crazy everywhere. Black home ownership is low. People need investment of a foundational Black American state. And we have economic-based programs funded by other political leaders inside of states where Black Americans live for other ethnicities before your main constituents, your main voters, your main voter base, and your main people that need that help in this country. Let me point it again. Financial assistance for home ownership. This is Maryland. I'm sorry, by the way, y'all. For Latino Economic Development Center in the state of Maryland. Not PG County, not Silver Spring, not all those areas. Lived in Maryland from 20. I think I lived in Maryland for 2 years, by the way. Hagerstown, Bethesda, Rockville. I know about Maryland. So all of those programs that could be going for those Black citizens that need their help, because the cost of Maryland, the DMV area, y'all, cost of living is outrageous. I think it's way too high. It's up there with California. We know home ownership is an issue for all Americans, specifically for Black Americans. People trying to start families, people trying to get things going. Heck, even me trying to get our home ownership and get the proper things going. Costs are way too high. Deposits are outrageous. Everything we need should be tailored for people inside this country. And you get in their face and you prioritize other people. You know why this is a big deal, ladies and gentlemen? It's a big deal because when people tell you they can't do nothing for me, check the records and you got
up then, G. I ain't scared of nothing. You go and pull up then.
You got to pull up and check those records. You got to make sure you
standing on business
24/7, 25/8. You got to read. You got to follow up. You got to look. You got to make sure you check that money side. Because as much as they tell you they can't do anything for you, when you check the records and you see there is an economic development for Latinos, I thought we couldn't do race-based initiatives. I thought we couldn't do anything specifically for a certain lineage. I thought the programs had to be for everybody. Why does this specifically say Latino economic development? I'm not mad at that. If it's consistent about us, nobody getting economic development, it's one thing. But don't tell me to my face that FBAs can't get economic development. We can't get the proper nutrition and tools because it's not be done. Then we check the files and pull the records and we see a fast one. What this caused is it caused dissensions among your base. What this caused is it caused people not to trust you. What this caused is we know that you will say anything to lie to us. We are American citizens. I know the state of the economy. I'm out in these streets. Thank God that we are stable. Thank God that my family is doing okay, but I know too many people that need help, that should qualify for these programs, that should qualify for these assistance, that should get investment right now. And to say people who have not been here as long as those that need it will get investment, economic, which means money, which means land, which means resources. I want y'all to give y'all a teaching lesson right quick. Money is time value. Economics means resources, tangible, other goods that you must be given, finite amount of resources. So to know that a specific group is getting it when you're saying in other times they can't, I'm telling you, man, I'm going to stand on it, brother. Thank you, Democrat leadership. Big facts, dog. But we got to point it out. Remember, you got to read everything in the notes. And what this means is, y'all, moving forward, Westmore, you've been on watch. Other people in that era, you've been on watch. So when people beat with their chest, no reparations, no votes, you're giving them fuel to animosity. Remember, we are in the first wave of the delineation era. We are in the first wave of the reparation protocol. People are going to churn, are going to speak, are going to champion, are going to want to stick with it more. I know it may seem like, man, it could be going away. Man, it could be changing. Man, people are just talking a lot right now that we're not standing on business. No, sir. It will continue to increase. It will continue to be discussed. And it will continue to be a focal point of a lot of discussions. Next up with another edition of Live on Sunday, man, Drewski, comedian, actor, brilliant brother, has set the world on fire. I'm going to see if I can play it if the audio don't ding me too much. Y'all been getting dinged for my last few lives, so I'm going to try to be better. I'm going to play it a little bit and give my commentary if I can.
Rudy, stop talking like that. You ain't going to no big city. My ain't going to let you.
I'm going with or without you.
Rudy, stop talking like that. Stop. Hey, what are you niggers doing over there? We gotta get out of here. Hey, what are you doing?
And cut! Fantastic. I need more American slave. Okay?
Like struggle.
Yeah, the struggle.
Like sort of like the dialogue, like the back and forth banner.
Absolutely. Yes.
See, this row was sort of a bit cheeky. I gotta look.
And you know what's so deep about that, man? That a lot of people are talking about the most is you don't know how disrespectful it is for a sensitive part of our histories to be sold out. For enslaved moments to be played about people that don't even have that blood entrenched in it. For people who are not even called themselves black. Let's keep it funky. I tell people all the time, I did not know what a black Brit was until 2025. Never heard of it. Never seen them. Never seen them stomp down, stand on issues, but we know they're there now. But they selectively speak on things. But when you have this commentary about this issue, I got a bold claim right quick. I personally believe that a lot of the 2010 film era movies have not lasted as long is because we have had non-FBA play our roles. Follow me. Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, Colors, The Wood, other black men playing black American stories and women. The reason why the films we see don't have that staying power is because you are trying to undermine the experience. You are literally getting somebody else that is not a part of the culture, that does not have that intrinsic feeling, that does not have that spiritual essence, that does not have that connectivity power to represent us in filmography. I personally believe that's why we haven't had an iconic film like that in a while. And I do believe it is due to the non-FBAs and non-representation of it. I think Stringer Bell, Idris Elba did a phenomenal job. But as you see him talk later on, has he ever played anything to represent a black man in that time? He makes it clear that he's other. Idris Elba, hearing him talk and say he didn't know what fried chicken was and thought it was funny to be exemplifying the effort while playing a West Coast black man was disrespectful. And I firmly believe Snowfall was a great series and he did a great job in it. But I do not believe the staying power and the authenticity is not there now. I do believe from that 2005 until now, that 20 years almost, where we have gotten people to play our roles outside of us, the films ain't hit the same. Give you an example why the difference is. Michael B. Jordan in Sinners, he felt it. His family's from Shreveport. Jonathan Majors in his films, we feel it. It's a connectivity to it. We know when it's homegrown. We know when it ain't real. We know when it ain't authentic. We know when it's Reggie. We know when it ain't strong. We know when it ain't good. And that is something that we have seen in filmography. And I do believe that has been purposely redone, especially for a lot of our icons. It's the reason why the Michael Jackson movie resonates so much. Shout out to Taj and the Jackson family. And shout out to Gary, Indiana. Shout out to them. Let me give a round of applause. That movie did well because it had us in it. He embodied the role. He played the character. He stood. He felt the emotion. He strongly supported the vision. And you can feel that intrinsically in the spiritual essence. When the spiritual essence is not there and you're trying to just play the role as a character, the disconnection between the audience can be felt. I personally believe that's why the Fred Hampton movie didn't have a lasting power. Judas and the Black Messiah. How do you not have somebody of Fred Hampton's ilk play that role? Why do you have somebody from the UK? How do you not have somebody that was such an iconic movie play that role, stand on that role, and play it too phenomenally? We have too many of our icons that have been not supported like they should. So when Drewski made this skit and roll about that, he did an outstanding job because it is a huge talking point. And I believe that our filmography has suffered because of it.
Bit of my comfort zone, you know. During the filming of this role in this character, I felt oppressed, like an American slave, like a lot of struggle. I studied the art.
I want you to think about this for a second. You have to study the art. You have to feel like an American slave. I have to mentally get in the role to understand that. As much as I know he's playing character and he's doing it to be funny and facetious, and I know that's why he's doing it. Shout out to Drewski for making it happen. But to me, it is more of a highlight into, oh, wow, you really don't get it. You really don't understand the cultural norms and the cultural references. Oh, when you play us, you really don't understand that gap between what is American, what is our feeling, what is our spiritual side. It will always be missing because you need us in those roles. And what Drewski did in a snapshot, y'all, was exemplify that. He went over, yo, I got to mentally play it. I'm not it. I can't mentally play my role, y'all. I can't mentally say I'm returning to King Crowder. I am King Crowder. I am I Love Us. I can't turn it on and turn it off. This is who I am. You meet me, you know, you feel it. The spiritual side, the essence in us, it's there. Family, children, loved ones, we feel it. You can't fake it, man. So when we talk about these type of things, this is what we're talking about. I'm gonna play the rest of the video, then I'm gonna chime in to the next subject. Let's keep it going. Shed a lie.
A little bit with the dialect, right? But to really get into character for this quite astonishing role that I took on, to say the least, I put it all on the line.
All right, 3, 2, 1, action.
I'm telling you, nigga, if you fuck with my shit, I'll kill you, nigga.
I'm gonna go ahead and skip past that a little bit.
Cole, the director, it was quite quintessential to the role and great character development behind it. I put this fucking bullet in your head, nigga. I laugh because I'm penniless and a bit quite surreal. bit quite surreal.
Samson Dubois. Samson, yo, who's the girl? Who's the girl? What's your next movie? What's your next movie? Yo, do you think your British accent gets you all the black roles in America?
Come on, bro. Are you serious, bro?
Do you think you're better than them?
Better than who, bro? Black people.
Yeah.
Stop.
Man, that was a masterclass by Drewski. Why did I love that video so much, Carter Gang? I loved it because it was real. I loved it because it was authentic. I loved it because it was transparent about an undisclosed subject among a lot of us, especially the brothers. I'm gonna give y'all a great lesson. Let me go ahead and get in my soapbox for a moment. Y'all know we got the Black Men Organization in Houston, BMBC. Shout out to the Grain. Shout out to the fellas. It has been actively going with Black American men, FBAs, all day, right? Now the buzz, the level of accomplishment, level of things is starting to grow. I've had more non-FBAs contact me. They have contacted me to try to understand how to get that, the motion going in different places. And the one thing I always emphasize is, what type of brother are you? Are you a black man that is confident in his beliefs? Are you a black man that's ready to start something that people are going to want to follow? Are you a black man that stands on business? Do you represent the average one? Do you have the cultural feelings? Do you read? Are you articulate? Are you attentive? Are you not afraid to talk about political issues? Do you assimilate too much? And the number one thing I notice when I meet a lot of non-FBA men, they try to over-assimilate. When I meet white folk, I don't assimilate, y'all. I don't code switch. I show up as King Crowder. I show up and say what it do. I show up and shake the hand with a certain level of energy, a certain level of masculinity. I don't have to change and dictate how I am. You change for me. When I meet a sister, I do the same thing. I don't shake your hand, I hug you. I do the cultural things and cultural norms. And I notice when I meet a lot of people not from my culture, they try to criticize that. Oh, Terrell, I think a lot of the things you do can be unprofessional. Hey, I think a lot of the things you can do sometimes can be off-putting. Hey, I think a lot of the things you do sometimes we could change. Not what we could talk about personally and we can see how you can add value to the group. I notice the critiques always come to try to change something within our black culture. And I notice when a confrontational conversation has to happen man to man, it's a little bit of uncomfortableness there. Remember, we can have a conversation, y'all. It ain't got to be physical. But when we chop it up, we going to talk about it. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to stand on my point of view. You're going to stand on yours. As much as you criticize me, I'm going to criticize you. And I notice when the energy is always reciprocated, people of non-FBA, especially the fellas, they fold. They don't know how to handle it. They take it as uncomfortable. They take it as you attacking them, not the man, not the person, not the conversation, not the intellectual discourse. But I noticed a lot of times that's what tends to happen. So when Drewski played this role, when Drewski played this skit, it hit home for me, y'all. It hit home for me as somebody that is immersed with us, that loves us, that rides with us, that speaks for us, that try to have that attitude that I'm always going to be around us. When you have people that try to benefit, that try to take, that try to get what they can, it's easy to see you, bro. And when I see you, when I question you, why do you get defensive? When I question and when I ask and I want to ask things that's going to make us better, I always knows it's some trepidations in our comments. But what that is, y'all, like I tell most brothers, that is a highlighter moment. We don't have to be mad. We ain't got to be upset. We ain't got to be angry. What we do is we approach it and move with it accordingly. The same way that we got to move with it accordingly when, like, I don't know if y'all keep up with the youngins. I do. You know, I always surf the news and stay abreast of what's going on. I actually love this young brother. If y'all do not know who he is, he goes by the name of I Show Speed. I Show Speed is currently on a Caribbean tour. And on his Caribbean tour, he is seeing a lot of anti-blackness in a lot of the Central American countries. Why are you showing this, King Carter? I'm showing this because when a lot of times when people say things like we're the problem, when they say things that can be seen like we're always focused on race and other issues, we got to show them the facts face to face. And I want y'all to catch how this grown man as hostile by talking to this young man when he asks about the issues and things he wants to drink. The one to the left with the glasses. Pay attention.
How you like it? You like citrus?
All right, watermelon.
Okay, de sandía, ¿tú tienes? De sandía.
Why watermelon? Why?
Why watermelon?
Yeah.
Because I'm black.
¿Por qué negro? Y a los negros les gusta la sandía.
Tiene que tener una cosa más exótica aquí.
We have more exotic stuff here.
Y'all catch your young boy staring in his eyes? You catch young Speed with the You catch young Speed saying, yeah, because I'm black, bro. Why can't I have watermelon? Why are you questioning me about my preference? Why are you questioning me about what I like? I'm telling you what I want to drink, bro. And the first thing you do is you want to tell me that I shouldn't like that?
Brr, brr.
I'm so proud of I Show Speed for standing on business. I'm so proud of I Show Speed. But what this is right here, right now, y'all, I want y'all to understand something. That was a masculine trait this brother tried to pull on that young dude. I Show Speed felt this dude's energy. I Show Speed felt this dude's tenacity. I Show Speed felt him being a side hand slight comment. And what he did, like all men got to do, he stood on business. He looked at him eye to eye. He said, I like it because I'm black, bro. He said, I like it because that's the culture I come from. He said, I like it because that's what we do. We don't have a culture not assimilating. We don't have another culture about, I got to like this because what you like. We don't have that culture. And I Show Speed looked at him eye to eye and said, man, look at this picture, man. A picture's worth 1,000 words. This brother can be number 21 years old, y'all. A 21-year-old man standing directly, looking at a younger grown man in the face telling me, I like it because I'm black, bro. I saw a tear come down my face. But what I also saw is his parents raised him right. His parents raised him to have confidence. His parents raised him to check. Shh.
Like what?
Passion fruit,
Zapote,
chinola.
zapote, zapote.
Okay, sapote, sapote.
Zapote.
You see how the brother's energy changed? You see how he felt that confrontation? You see how he felt in real time what's going to happen when we have an uncomfortable conversation? He's in the Dominican Republic. And the reason why we got to point out those things, y'all, the Dominican Republic, and this ain't to all DR people, but we got to give him credit. When Godfrey made that joke about I know black, I Dominican, he hit home. And the reason why we got to point out those things, y'all, is because in real time, they families still uphold that culture. Do not say it's on FBA for pointing out the records and the receipts. We are just showing you the invoices. This is a children and her mom showing them how they let them play with a black doll. Pay attention.
Dominican moms be like, no.
She's giving the daughter a black doll and she says she can't play with that. She prefers the other doll. A Dominican mom.
No.
Las dos muñecas lindas de Ori. ¿Y cuáles que están allí? ¿Y cuáles son esas? Estas son las de ella, que se parecen a ella. This is the doll that I got her.
And I want y'all to be mindful. The mother is getting a white doll for the child to play with. Psychologically, there was a gentleman during the civil rights movement named Kenneth Walker and his wife who did the doll experiment. What they did was they showed how you label a doll, children will pick up on that undisclosed animosity at a young age. This mother is literally doing the same thing. She is grabbing a doll that does not look like her, doesn't look like the child, and doesn't look like any of them. She's grabbing the doll and telling the child, this is what you must got to play with. Psychologically, I want you to think about that imprint that goes into your mental, your spiritual side. I'm telling you, this is what you have to listen to. I'm telling you, this is what you have to play with. Not your preference, not something that resembles you. And this is something that is active in DR culture.
Ella no le gusta esa muñeca. No le gusta. No le gusta. Ten, Ori. Ori, ten. Ori. Ori.
I don't think it's funny at all, y'all. I actually think it's very sad. But when I Show Speed bringing the evidence to that moment, when I Show Speed had this moment with that other gentleman, and it was similar. And the moment he had was, hey, yo, this is the preference I have because I'm a black man. But because I am a black man, I'm telling you my preference is not respected. I'm telling you what I believe, what I stand for, but you still tend to question it. You don't let me be a whole person. You don't let me be a whole discussion. You have to understand, I want most FBAs to understand this, y'all. As someone that comes from a freedom town, like I always tell y'all, racism is a global sport. If you have not read Neely Fuller's book, Compensatory Rose Code, I invite you to read it, and I invite you to add it to your library, please. What he said in the book was true. We think racism is only in the United States. No, it had its effect globally. The unique part about the United States, we are the first ethnic group with our own civil rights movement. What does that mean, King Crowder? That means that Black Americans in this country said, if we can't be treated fair, ain't nobody gonna be treated fair. If we can't drink this water fountain, can't nobody drink this water fountain. If we don't get the first rights and approvals, ain't nobody having the rights and approvals. We have to understand how groundbreaking that is. Most people have never pushed back on it. They've accepted it. They've taken it by chance. They've simply said, man, I guess this is what it means. I guess this is what I got to deal with. I guess it's the problem I got to understand for. I guess it's a movement. They don't even understand how psychologically it affects them until this day. They don't understand the mental, the emotional, the psychological, the stress factors, the undiagnosed image that it has on you and your children. So we have these conversations about, having this doll experiment in real time would be unfortunate. These are the effects from it. You affect you affect your children, and you affect everybody else that has to deal and benefit from it. So when we see these remarks about racism being global, y'all, that's what we're talking about. I don't want you to ever be shocked when you hear anti-Black rhetoric outside of other ethnicities. We are the only culture across the world that has had a civil rights movement that have said, if we don't get treated fairly, nobody get treated fairly. Let me cook. Most importantly, I want
share the live, share the live, share the live.
If you ain't heard, there has been a mass layoff at some of our HBCUs, y'all. Bowie State University, a prime HBCU in Bowie, Maryland, is an image of an $18 million deficit. Bowie will eliminate $79 million to a reorganization, vaccine, and layoff of university, and it's the second multi-million deficit in 2 years. Maryland's oldest HBCU has an $18 million deficit. Of Ms. Bono announces that on the campus that the following 3 years they have had a 13.6 million shortfall in the hiring freeze. Bowie employs almost 1,100 workers, and they will shrink that by 6%. We recognize that as public periods of time that we approach every decision that our staff, and we will cut almost this amount of jobs. This year, the deficit of reduced funding from the state and federal funding. Bowie is not the only public university that has facing a headwind. University of Maryland, College Park, has cut almost 150 jobs last month in a hiring freeze of its own budget shortfall. Lower enrollment in Bowie and protected companies around universities because HBCU freshman enrollment is down 27% from 2022 to 2025, and there has been less than 850 students. There has been a budget shortfall from years on years about college enrollment and the college experiment. I've had this conversation, y'all, so many times with people. I truly tell people all the time, the millennials are the last generation that is going to be for college outright. Young ladies, we're pushing them to go, but our young men have changed. Moving forward, I personally believe we need to change the trajectory of what's going to happen. I'm not saying college is not important. I'm not saying it's not a good step. I am saying the workplace, the economic development, the place we are in currently, the place we are currently dealing with, the problems we're currently dealing with right now. Right now, y'all, it should not be the main focus. I'm sorry, I didn't even show y'all the article. Get going. Bowie is a hindsight 2020 all across this country. PV, Hampton, Howard, all enrollment is changed. I think it was an article about PV last week, y'all, where I think it was a almost 12%. It was 85 to 15% men, women to man ratio for colleges and discourse information. I really think it's that low. And the reason why is threefold. It's cost of attendance. It's the landscape, y'all. Much people don't like to say it. The online rhetoric placed towards young man has hurt their psyche. A lot of young men hear all the time, you can't date, you need money, you need this. I don't believe people understand that it's affected the younger ones more. The men of my age, the millennials, we have already went through the process and we have already seen it. The Gen Z, the Gen Alpha guys, they are pivoting accordingly. They are saying, I can't date. There's no need to me to be the best affordability of a man. I just need to try to get money. All of the let's grow together, let's grow up together, we can bond together era, the messaging has put it off towards a young man. And I do not believe Bowie will be the only campus. I believe Bowie's in the newspaper right now. But I believe a lot of, man, keep it going. For sure, I'm always going to keep it going, brother. I believe a lot of the news outlets, the HBCUs, the schools are all going to face this in the next 10 years. I personally believe, y'all, a lot of our campuses will close in the next 15 years. I do. I believe the way college bubble happened, I believe the narrative to go to college, our young ladies will continue to go, but the guys are not going to be there. So those majors that we need, those hard concrete fields, the STEM, they will be there, but will it be as much of an influx, or will we be pushing more towards the blue collar labor force that we had prior to the industrial movement? So I do wonder in real time what we're going to see, but I do see on the ground floor, y'all, if you ask the average 14-year-old male, the average 16-year-old male in this country, black, white, whatever, they don't talk about college. I'm serious. The glowing idea about I'm going to go to college and do this, they don't talk about it. They truly believe, y'all. I know people always push it back on me. People always say, man, you don't know. But I'm telling you, I'm with the streets. I'm in the ground floor. I'm saying I'm talking to the babies. I have conversation with them. It is so many of them that will say, I go to community college route. I'm going to go to the military. I'm going to go to the oil fields. I'm going to go to the shipyard. I'm going to go to the longshoreman. There is so many other things that they're trying to do now because young men do not see the value socially, psychologically, economically, financially, or relationship-wise. And that problem is because if we have pushed the feminism too hard, let's keep it funky. We have pushed girl power too hard. I got girls, but we have had it so much out of balance, y'all, that men don't feel the value in it. And this new crop of men are not like the elder generation. They're not going to be compromising. They're not going to just be talked to any type of way. They want respect. That is the generation Gen Alpha. Gen Z is 26. Gen Alpha is 16. Gen Alpha men, young men, y'all, they're different. I'm telling you. I know it's a shift. I know it's a mentality push. I know it is something very different, but you better listen to these boys' podcasts. You better listen to who they listen to. You better watch who they watch. You better read what they read. You better stay aware of what they stand aware of. That narrative that we're pushing now that worked 10 years ago does not work on these boys. They're not motivated. They're not wanting to go. And we are starting to see the college bubble happen between our eyes. But I personally believe you. I'm going to put a hot take out there from King Crowder. You can put this on Mother's Day 2026. 10 years from now, I do not believe that most of our college will be around. Technology, training 6 weeks to 6 months on hard training. Big facts, love. And she right, y'all. I just think y'all the motivation factor, man. I mean, when you talk to the young brothers, man, a lot of them just don't feel that way. They don't feel motivated. They don't feel ready. They don't feel prepared. And when you talk to them, their confidence just is not there. And I do believe in social media, 100%. I do believe social media is punched down on young men. I believe social media teaches you that young men, everything they do is bad. And I do believe that feminism has went too far. Feminism has swung the pendulum over to the right too much. I do believe we need an overcorrection in our lifetime. We need to rebalance it. We need to shift the narrative. We need to shift the ways because young men are responding accordingly. And remember, most guys are not open to talk communication like me. They just vote with their feet. Most young men are just going to say, I ain't going. And they're not going to say anything. They're just not going to go. You're going to wake up, you're going to look around, and you're not going to see in there anymore. You know, a lot of times when a lot of young ladies will say, man, why don't men go to this type of event? There has been an open hostility now. And they're saying, hey, man, where's the pendulum now? Where is it? Where can it be for me? Where can my rights be heard? Where can my feelings be observed? Where? And I believe that is where we are currently. As we continue to shift gears, remember when I told y'all, man, we're going to shift back to the economic hardship. And I don't know if y'all love TikTok. I do. But I do believe one thing I love about TikTok, y'all, I believe TikTok gives you a portal and a world open view to see how other people's psyches, other people's financial situation, and also it gives you a touch base what's going on throughout this country. This created right here is talking about the crisis of living, the crisis of affordability, and the crisis of economic hardship currently.
People are charging $1,000 a month to rent rooms in their home. $1,000 a month to rent a room. Bro, what the fuck we gonna do? The cost of living has gotten out of hand, and y'all buy a house, man. Everybody that I know that owns a house tells me don't buy no fucking house. They hate that shit.
Well, the one reason why this young liquidator is right about that, I tell people all the time, if you don't have a family, if you don't have a man living with you, ladies, you know I love y'all, don't buy no house. Maintenance, repair, lawn service, lawn care, affordability, and goods are no joke. And even if he can't fix it, does he have the network group to fix it? I'm not good with electrical, but I know a guy that does electrical work, does HVAC, does repair. I know somebody within my network group that does it. Does your man, your friend, your significant partner have that? Because maintenance and repairs are something that are done monthly. Homes are supposed to be for families. If you do not have a family, I'm not saying you cannot have a home. I'm saying I recommend that you wait until you get a family. I really do. A lot of young ladies need to understand that.
Between property taxes going the fuck up, insurance going the fuck up, niggas having to fix roofs. Is that what it is? Having to fix their roof and shit. Everybody I know that got a goddamn house tell me don't buy no goddamn house. They say at least you call a maintenance man. But dead ass, what the fuck we gonna do about the rising cost of living? Because what you mean you charging people $1,000? You got 3 rooms in your house, you're charging them $1,000 for somebody to come live there. This shit is sad.
That's what happens. You charge that much money when a lot of people live above their means. Right now in this current economy, y'all, we have owned our cars, right? I can afford a 2026 if we want to get a newer car because a new baby. I can't tell you how many people will tell me, why haven't I gotten a newer car? I can afford one. We live below our means. We have way more discretionary income covering each month. But the amount of people that do not understand or don't have 5,000 some money put up in their bank account that will discriminate against you about spending money. If you are comfortable, if you are to the point where you have enough money, where you can eat out, where you can change, where you can do different things, where you can travel, where you have expenses you can cover, don't add more to it. We are in the economy where you got to hustle it up. We are also in the barter economy. Y'all follow me. Follow me. If you do hair and your girl do feet, do her hair and she do your feet for you. If your girl bake pies and you make dinners, y'all better get together and put a combo deal together. If your buddy detail cars and you do cut hair, you better barter and get things done together. If I can fix a home and I do construction, but my boy knows somebody that do plumbing, we got to swap it out. Right now, we are in the old folks barter economy. I'm not saying cash is not king. I'm not saying that you can't make things happen. But I'm saying right now, we are in this economy and in this industry where you need to trade. Trade skill sets, trade resources, trade doing, trade development, trade multiple things are going to happen. We are in the trade economy. Trade your goods and services. Market what you can do. Market what you're good at. All that I'm too proud, I'm too good. No, sir. If you know what you can do, if that skill set is transferable with somebody, auction it off. I know it's uncomfortable. I know we're taught to pay for everything, but back in the day, ask your grandparents. Baby sis grew hair. Uncle Joe grew vegetables. I would give him 3 corn. He would give me my 3 vegetables. We traded. Traded like we did in history books. We are in the trade economy. Don't be above it. Learn how to keep your word and be reasonable with it. Shorter training staff makes things reachable and money better. Mechanics and nails, barbers don't take long. Facts. Shorty, she on fire tonight. Shout out to sis. She right. But like I said, y'all, we got to understand that the economy is changing before our eyes. They're not diagnosing it to you. They're not educating you on it. They're not supposed to. What you have to learn is where we are, what we're going to move forward to, and how it's going to affect us and the things we see moving forward. That's where we are right now. So all the incidents, all the conversations, all the talking points, all the things we see, that is what we got to emphasize. No more letting people educate you. No more letting people tell you what you should say. No more letting people tell you what they should believe. No more telling people what they should stand on or pressed about. So moving forward now, we address it all. We stand for it all. And most importantly, we respond to it all. Next up, man. Next up, share the live, share the live, share the live, comment, like, subscribe to the channel, hype the video. There's a video and an interview done by Bank Atlanta's own Big Bank. And if you do not know who Big Bank is, Big Bank has started something that I found really rewarding. He started another video talking to Snitch Guy 6ix9ine. If you do not know who 6ix9ine, he's a Mexican rapper who tries hard to assimilate himself to black culture, but he wonders why the assimilation and thought process is not the same. I'm going to let his video be played. I'm going to respond to it accordingly, and I want to put all my brothers on notice when you deal with other ethnicities and what the problem is. Let's take a listen.
So where did the hate come from? I don't know, bro, because you told on some brothers. You told on some black men, and you're a Mexican probably.
Oh, cool.
That's how nigga probably feel like that. Nigga told on
so this is what I'm saying. So I told.
No, the hate is that 6ix9ine is overly critical on black people. But when Ashley Gonzalez came about, what are his thoughts? The problem that people like 6ix9ine of his ilk don't understand, the black men you are criticizing are living within their culture. You will forever be a guest, bro. You will forever be. You already moved like a sucker. You already acted like a sucker. And you are trying to casually say, I can disrespect. I can talk down to. I can be hyped towards black men. I can say disrespectful things to them in real time and not be ashamed of the results that brothers got back for you. So what 6ix9ine doesn't understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that, hey, bro, you were disrespectful, dog. You know how many black people you chose to disrespect? You know how many black men that don't respect your responding to your elk? You got to understand, bro. Why don't you address the Mexicans and the other issues? Why don't you address Latinos with their problems? Why haven't you never spoke on Latinos with the anti-black racism? What's your thoughts on reparations? When people talk to him, I truly believe it's too many conversations we let some Latino man skate by with. And that's what he doesn't like, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't like that he doesn't have the access. He doesn't like that he has to have the accountability. And what he does is put something to the side that has nothing to do with the average black man.
Some brothers. Who killed Nipsey? A
For
brother.
sure, for sure.
Who killed Vaughn?
For sure.
A brother.
For sure.
Who killed PNB Rock? A brother.
For sure.
Who killed Pop Smoke? A brother. Who killed Biggie?
None of them have to do with you saying racial slurs to people that don't like it when you say it. None of the people you just named has anything to do with people saying they don't like you saying the N-word, but you continue to say it. But people saying they don't like the way you carry yourself, we continue to carry yourself that way. What you are doing, brother, is pivoting away from the conversation. You're not being accountable. You're not being consistent. You're not being honest and transparent about why people have a problem and an issue with you. You're being disingenuous at best. You're not standing on business. You're not standing on code. You're not being intellectual about it. What you are doing is saying, what about those brothers that were involved in different things? They have to do with you. Your situation is that you are cosplaying a black man. You are speaking like a black man. You are trying to assimilate like a black man while disrespecting black people, while never holding your people accountable. Wow, picking and choosing what you choose to talk about. That's the issue, 6ix9ine. I don't know if anybody's ever articulated for you before. I don't know if the non-FBAs just don't understand the environment that we're in. But right now, the delineation movement is kicking y'all ASS. It's kicking y'all in the butt because you cannot run. You cannot hide. You cannot go away from it. You are remixing our culture. You are riding our beliefs. You're trying to ride off our coattail and our energy. You are trying to do whatever you can to stay relevant, but you haven't spoke on Latinos yet. You haven't spoken to Ashley Gonzalez. You haven't used your platform to speak on Black issues. The Black people, the Black culture that you love to try to be like, you don't speak negatively about people that go against it. That is why the hypocrisy among us is towards you. Just like your buddy non-academics, the Jamaican, people are tired of it, y'all. You may not see it right now, but the non-FBA wave, the non-FBA go along to get along, the non-FBA subtle disrespect that you're allowed to have, era is done. And it's starting little by little, drop by drop, energy by energy. And you see them constantly complain. But the one thing they don't complain about is how come they don't have the representation? How come they don't have the confrontation? How come they don't have the conversation with other people? Why don't they choose to speak on other people doing disrespectful things to Black people? And it's a glaring witness. So 6ix9ine, you know what the problem is. You are cosplaying. You are disrespectful, and you have no reverence for the Black FBA culture. That's it, bro. Let's put it simple. You disrespect, you dishonor, you move irreparably, and then you try to point out and push what other street dudes and hood dudes are not going. But you never have the same energy for Latinos in prison, in the jail system, with the anti-Black rhetoric, with the me no Black energy, or other disrespectful tactics or understanding. Like I keep going, y'all. Like I said, the delineation movement is really kicking butt. And I got some delineation shirts coming in, y'all. I can't wait to show it to you. The love era. Y'all know I coined that phrase. I spoke about it. I cannot wait to chop it up and give it to you. Let's keep cooking. Nick Cannon allegedly has been embezzled for almost $2 million from his accountant. This creator said something phenomenal. The thing about the FBA movement is that we are really circumventing people that don't have our best interests. Fraud has not been something a part of FBA culture. It's really something outside of it. But we have looked at it as everyone's Black, everyone's trusting, everyone's loving, but we don't see the real-time benefits of, oh, you don't have my best understanding. So people that try to get over, they try to ride the coattail, they try to say we all Black and squeeze in there with an anti-Black rhetoric. The days are numbered. The conversations are different. The talking point, the speaking points, the feeling, the energy is different now. You can't just come around us to try to assimilate. You can't come around us to just try to get along because we are picking up on the habits and the choices. What delineation did, people that don't know, it made you clarify yourself. Delineation made you prove your resume. Delineation makes you ask more questions than we're accustomed to doing. For example, work history. Where you from? Where your mama at? What your cousin, what your daddy did? When did that happen? What year? Why did it occur that way? There has been more follow-up questions now than there ever has been. And the reason for that is the delineation movement. And that is a good thing. Don't let nobody tell you it's bad. Don't let nobody tell you they don't love it. And I love it so much that we're starting to do it, y'all, because even our foundational Black American women are calling it out, man. And this beautiful creator right here, y'all, I am not hip, aware, or aware on the makeup industry, but this phenomenal creator known as Daisy did an outstanding review on this subject. I'm going to let it play while I give my commentary where she went in on a cosmetic injury. Pay attention.
Authentically Nigerian is to know what an akata is. Last year around this time, I mentioned the lack of representation for Black American beauty creators. By this, I mean brand activations, paid brand deals, and overall media coverage. From this video alone, I was called tribalist and divisive. Overall, the video was in bad faith by this character. I think it's so ironic. She publicly celebrated on her beauty blog Nigerian Independence Day through a authentication list that explicitly referenced Black Americans through a racial slur on her public beauty blog in 2012. The media calls her the voice for Black women, the one calling out the brands for inclusivity. Through her words, she's claiming it to be part of the authentic Nigerian identity. If you're wondering, she was about 25 years old at the time and had over 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. Just to give you a little background on what was happening around that time, Black American women are forced to perform in industries that enable these types of people who are known to dehumanize us, while also monetizing off of us. Corporate America exists beyond the office. It's on your social platform.
And I never knew any of this stuff, yo. Shout out to this creator, y'all. For her to break all this stuff down about the beauty industry being different and how people are open to saying xenophobic rhetoric and xenophobic talking points and having hostile remarks is simply refreshing. But the one thing I love is it's around Black History Month, Mother's Day for all women, and all women need to be celebrated. FBA women, y'all are beautiful, loved, respected. A lot of the stuff that we've heard in the past 10 years about the gender war, that's not us, y'all. That is literally non-FBA regular, about colorism, all that stupid stuff. We don't care about that. Brothers love you, chocolate, light skin, mocha, caramel, albino. We don't care. Fine is fine. If you ever hear that rhetoric about brothers that don't like this and brothers that don't like this, I want y'all to understand that really is outside of our community. And like this creator is doing, and I didn't know this about the beauty industry, y'all, is that discrimination, xenophobia, anti-Black rhetoric, anti-Black talking points, using Black when convenience is even affecting the beauty industry. Let her keep cooking.
Platforms. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube podcasts. When Black American women advocate by being specific about the tactics used to disenfranchise us, they say it's a dog whistle. They say we're dangerous, that we're lazy, that we need to work harder. Work harder. That sounds so familiar. I think we've heard that before. Oh, and don't be fooled. They aren't operating alone. Black Center magazines enable them. We don't get to speak. We are not represented. Our stories are used and occupied by people who have never identified or represented themselves as Black American.
I'm being one of the same people that's asked to do something. It's the same vibe.
You know what I don't like too, y'all? And this is for my sisters right here. Can y'all stop allowing everybody to use the term Black woman? This is from my brother. I want y'all to start gatekeeping that. I personally feel like they trying to exploit that word too much. If your mama is not a foundational Black American woman, I believe the bogarting, the gatekeeping, that word needs to come from y'all this year. I'm serious. It's so many women that are not Black, that are Nigerian women, that are other ethnicities, the women that use that word. I personally believe y'all need to gatekeep that for real, y'all. I don't think that's it, brother. I just think it's a conversation. And remember, when you have the conversation, when people try to pivot from it, watch them. Like I'm gonna always drop the link because you know me. I ain't never ran from nothing. So while the brother said that, brother, Savage Life, please tap in. Please tap in and stand on business, brother. If you don't, I bid you a good night. Let's keep cooking. I do believe this conversation is deep, man. I didn't know this about the beauty industry. I didn't know so much xenophobia rhetoric from outside of others have been happening. I didn't know it. But I do think it's outstanding that a lot of our women are doing it now, that they're pointing out.
It's starting to be the same Black girls at these events.
But the fact that the 5 people that are constantly chosen are predominantly West African is almost always left out. that specific detail is never mentioned, and it's on purpose. It's rarely ever Black American women in these rooms. She said, I'm proud of the community we built. We opened the doors for each other, and I know now she means that quite literally. Here's some more authentic Nigerian examples. You know you're Nigerian if your family owns a shop that mainly caters to foreigners. That sounds about right. If you are friends with someone just because they're Nigerian, you know you're Nigerian if you bond with people more from other African countries. For example, Ghana, Sierra Leone, Gambia, and Eritrea. Are we surprised? Don't be shocked.
I think for them to even say that in a public setting for women is disrespectful. And I know a lot of our Meg and other stallion stuff goes viral, but I don't understand why this has not gotten viral in our sister spaces. And I mean that. I do believe that this is deep. I do believe that I didn't know all this stuff was that deep, and this is in written format in the magazines represented for Black American women, that these women are so boldly disrespectful saying that to a beautiful queen like this. What that shows me, y'all, is that hostility, bogarting, ethnic cleansing, takeover, xenophobia remarks from other non-FBAs are serious, y'all. And you got to take it that way. Take it that way. And the new era and the new energy that we're on is to respond accordingly. The fellas have already had it, y'all. The fellas have had our reckoning movement. We make it very clear. If they don't believe me, let me put my hand up and stand it very clear myself. I make it very clear, but you ain't no Black man talking like that. You don't represent the FBA culture. Black women, y'all need to understand and represent that same thing. If it's not a part of y'all community, make sure you highlight that. If she doesn't represent y'all culture, make sure you highlight it like that. There's no reason why our makeup influencers who are part of the culture can't even get an interview, can't even get endorsements. I just didn't know.
Shocked? Here's my favorite. If your parents or relatives have ever disliked someone because of the simple fact that they were Akata. So as you can see, through the
And to write that in a public syndication how is that legal? To say an ethnic slur in a public syndicated magazine, that is, ladies, y'all might need the Boquishas and them to say something, because they are way too damn comfortable.
This industry standard in practice, institutions have filled their diversity quotas with the same reoccurring small group of West Africans and Caribbeans diasporic creators, all while Black American creators are systemically excluded from the same opportunities.
Shout out to this creator again. Shout out to this creator again. I thought this was really good that I wanted to share with y'all, because I had no idea the makeup and beauty industry was on that. I had no idea the makeup and beauty industry was colonized. I had no idea that they were excluding our women. I had no idea that we are representing the standard of Blackness and what Blackness is. And you seeing people from the diaspora who are openly hostile. Remember, when I openly say where I'm from in an effort to exclude myself, that is a tactic for hostility. I am openly saying I am other. I am openly saying we are not the same. I am openly saying we are not a part of the same community. That is an attack of hostility. That is an open invitation of war. Remember, Fred Hampton said, well, some politics is war without bloodshed. That is a political move to isolate you from resources that are owed to you in your country. That is a political move to hijack where you can come from because you are owed something and you ain't saying you don't work hard. Let's not forget the talking points. You're lazy. You don't do much. You don't compete with much. You don't do things. You don't see things. You don't feel it. All of those words, y'all, we have allowed too many people to feel comfortable. You know, there's always something that we're saying, y'all. And I love this remark that we're not our ancestors. You know the one thing I always say? Of course we're not our ancestors. Our ancestors stood on business. Yeah. Our ancestors were in the street, feet to toes, putting elbow fists, double fists hey, parrying, hey, swiping and moving, sticking and moving. They had to do that. Right now, it's too many of us on the internet. We'll say on the internet that I don't rock with you. But will you get face to face and tell them? Will I get forehead to forehead, nose to nose, chest to chest? Will I stand on cold while you right there, good, bad, or indifferent? Will I take a fight? Will I take a loss? Or will I tweet about it? Because people are openly showing you right now, specifically for my brothers and sisters, man, that they feel some type of way about you. And I am from the street. I will admit that. Family, everything. You don't allow people to play in your face. If you allow people to play in your face, other people will think it's normal. You cannot allow disrespect. You cannot allow people to think you're a game. And you cannot allow people to cuss or swear at you in real time. I'm not saying you got to go out fighting guns and roses against everybody. But what I'm saying is that you got to use your people that are going to do that for you for your benefit. And to hear this creator say these things and to hear the ethnic slurs and to hear people say something in real time, yeah, it's beyond a point of understanding. Disrespect has no point of understanding. You meet disrespect the same way disrespect meets you. Don't laugh about it. Don't joke about it. Don't think it's funny. And most importantly, handle your business. Next up, an Indian man gets on the podcast and says what?
And I'm telling you, people can deny this as much as I'll talk from my own family. They think black people smell. They think.
This man is from India, and he is saying, it's music in the background. Y'all probably won't let you be able to play it. He is saying that people from India really think that black people smell. Did you catch that? An Indian man from a foreign country says he thinks that black people smell. They think black people are dumb. They think black people can't read. The audacity by some of the people, y'all. We're not going to be too disrespectful tonight. We're not going to be too crazy. But when people say stuff like this to y'all FBA family, check that. Check it at the door. Remind them where the Cessna Sousa comes from. Remind them their homeland and what it looks like. Remind them that they shitting in the street. Remind them that they pooping in the garden. Remind them of things that they're allowed to have where their home country is. Remind them how bad their homeland is. This is when you got to be well read. This is when you have to be studious. This is when you have to be articulate. And this is when you have to know and stand on FBA business. You do not allow people to say things to you that are openly disrespectful. You do not allow people to say things to you and it goes unchecked. This brother said a whole lot of remarks that was said about his country. And his country, they do have a smell to them. I know. I didn't want to go there, but they do, right? They do have an image to them. They do have a look to them. They do have a problem with them. We don't choose to attack them, but what we have to do is we got to stand firm and stand on FBA business no matter who it is. You don't let nobody disrespect you. You don't let nobody cuss at you. You don't let nobody say anything outstanding to you. That is just not something we're going to do. Moving forward, y'all, 2026 and beyond, black culture, stand on it. Hands, feet, neck, elbows, give it to them. 2-piece, 4-piece, 3-piece with a side of fries and a biscuit. Do not be afraid to check that. Oh, man, I forgot to go over this one, y'all. My bad. I gotta do a U-turn. This video was about the Drewski video. I'm going to play it, give my commentary, then we can respond back about why this is important to go through it. I forgot to give you this earlier. Let me give it to you.
Man, we got to give Drewski his props. We got to give Drewski his props for this one. I've been complaining about it. Y'all been complaining about it. And I'm so happy he shined a light on this. And what I mean is these non-black Americans that come over here and play in our movies or play certain roles that's meant for a black American, they get them. And it just don't hit the same. It just don't. Movies hadn't hit the same in a long time since these Africans came over here, since these Caribbeans started playing our part. It just don't hit the same no more. Even it's so bad, you could tell.
Didn't I just tell y'all that? Didn't I literally just dive into why the movies haven't been hitting? And I'm telling you, I can feel it. I can feel from the energy and the perspective on where that person comes from. And there's no shade with it, man. But there has not been a Boys in the Hood movie in a minute. And all of these subjects that we could talk about, that we could speak about, why hasn't there been no movie like that? It's because the action, the director, and the actors are not a part of our lineage, man. I truly believe that. I really, really do.
An African writer wrote some of these TV shows. You can tell an African wrote it. Have y'all watched African movies? It don't hit. It's boring. It's not even comedy to me. It's like when I watch an African movie, I feel bad. I be cringy. I would rather watch a Tubi movie before I watch an African movie. It just don't hit the same. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all remember that movie Long Walk that came out last year? It's a Stephen King movie about like these young folks walking, and if they stop, they'll get popped. Basically, just the last one standing. So if you make it to the end, you know you win some money. But if you stop, they're gonna drop your ass, right? So two of them, one of the main characters was this African dude. I think he's from Britain or somewhere, but he was playing a nigga from Louisiana with a New Orleans accent, and it just didn't hit the same. Then there was another African. I think he from Congo or something. I don't know what this African from, but he's a tall African, and he was playing a Louisiana person or a Southern person, and it just didn't hit. They didn't even look like they were from the United States. You could tell these people are African. You can tell they are Africans. But the only true thing that I could say, okay, that's some realistic stuff right there. When that tall African took a poop in the middle of the street twice, I said, oh yeah, that's an African right there. Because we know Africans.
He wrong for that. He wrong for that. He wrong for that. But I do know the movie he was talking about. I thought it was okay, but I do agree with it. That Louisiana accent, the way the energy felt, he is not lying, man. And I truly believe, I don't know what it is, why they keep doing it, but I agree with him, man. It just don't hit. He not lying.
Like the poop in the middle of the street. Okay, so that's the only real thing about the Long Walk that I like. But I am so happy it shined the light on this because movies haven't been the same, y'all. Like a lot of our Negro movies just haven't been hit because these Africans don't know how to embody us, man. They don't know how to play us. We can tell that they're cosplaying us, and they just don't hit the same. We haven't had great movies since like Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? When Denzel Washington played Malcolm X. Now when you see Malcolm X remakes, it be these tethers and stuff like that. It just don't hit the same. It don't even embody Malcolm. Ray, Jamie Foxx play.
I agree. I think that's why a lot of the movies beside the Michael Jackson films have not hit as much. Like I've said earlier, y'all, when we talk about the standard for the cultural reference for the past 20 years, I truly believe that there has been a whitewashing, a immigrant washing of our films. That's why in the past 20 years, we haven't had a Boys in the Hood sitcom. We haven't had a Martin. We haven't had a Ray. We haven't had a movie that hit the same because once you see the TV shows, the people that embody it and play us, it doesn't feel the same spirituality. It doesn't feel the same essence. It does not hit like it's supposed to. And I do believe that is a corrective action that will happen in our lifetime. But what do we see moving forward with that? I'm glad that the discourse is happening. I'm glad that we are constantly and having this open conversation and discourse about this subject. Why? Because now we know once we are starting to delineate even more. Because remember, we're in first wave, second wave, third wave, fourth wave, fifth wave. Remember, this is the first era of it. So it's only going to get stronger. It's only going to get more firm. And the belief system will only get more entrenched. The more entrenched we are going to get, the more power, the more focus, the more things we're going to get done, the more conversation points, the more reality changes that will happen in our lifetime. That is the beautiful part of it. Right now, I know it's a lull. Right now, I know it feels like the conversation is monotonous. But right now, we are sharing notes and sharing information on why this is important. Like another one, y'all. You didn't know you were Black until you came to America. Why is this important, King Crowder? It's important because a lot of us do not understand, and the media doesn't teach us. We are the only Black people. Remember that, y'all. We are the only black people. Why? Because we embody it, we represent it, we feel it, we think it, we believe it, and we represent it. It is more of a spiritual, a blended type of thing. It is not a costume that we take on and take off. It is something we believe and we wear.
For instance, in Jamaica, you come to America and all of a sudden you're black. You don't realize you're black until you get to America. You grew up knowing you were black because you were always black. We weren't black till.
No, you're not. Because when you ask a lot of Jamaicans, they will tell you I'm Jamaican. And there's nothing wrong with being Jamaican. But we gotta keep it 1,000. Why are we lying about this? We're openly lying. We're openly not telling the truth. We're openly being disingenuous. You're being disingenuous about what it is. You're being disingenuous about what it means. You're being disingenuous about what you say what the talking points are. You are saying that you're always viewed that way. That's not what I experience. And if everybody I experience in my life is experiencing things I've been experiencing, somebody lying. And I believe the person that is lying is you.
We got here. I was like, oh, it's a problem. Because in Jamaica, 93% of the people are black. So black is not the conversation. It's when I got over here that I realized black was a problem. Like, oh, it's a bad thing. I didn't know.
You didn't know black was a bad thing when they keep the indigenous people in Jamaica off their beaches? You didn't know black is a bad thing when the other people come to Jamaica and get leverage and they do things, they own the hotels? You didn't know black was a bad thing by how they treat the native Jamaican population. When you are disingenuous, you lie. In our culture of FBAs, y'all, we follow up on things. We check, we read, we're studious. We try to have an understanding. We try to have enlightenment. We try to listen. We try to have a vocal proximity to what we're talking about. So when we follow up and have a proximity conversation and we find out, oh, you're not telling the truth. Oh, what you saying is not real. Oh, all that Jamaican talk that you've been saying is not what you're saying. You're actually lying to us. You're not being transparent. You're not being thorough. And you are not being honest.
You know, people on the billboards are black. The prime minister's black. My dad is like, you know, he's a shit. He's black.
And when they say those talking points, remember, y'all, what they're doing is pivoting the conversation. We're not going to address the issues that Jamaicans have, which they have a lot of them, like we all do, right? They are black within the nation, but do not get the representation within the nation. They are black within their colony, and they choose not to deal with their issues. My opinion, Jamaica is one of the beautiful places in the world. Why are you in New York? Why are you not in Jamaican having Airbnbs, having land visits? Why are you in New York? Jamaica is beautiful. The island is beautiful. The people, the food is delicious. Why did you go to New York City to live like that? When I meet people that say that to me, it's kind of, I don't get it. If I knew that I had an island I was a part of and I could be a ritual understanding and build upon, why would I choose to be somewhere where I'm never going to have the same access to it? It's almost like our birthright is to be in America as an FBA. And as an FBA, I'm going to do whatever I can to make my community flourish. As a foundational Black American, I'm going to do whatever I can in my people. Why would I go somewhere else in a different country with different people to try to work, to try to embolden and try to do where they are, not where I'm from? Mentally, I don't understand that. That is where the differentiation between FBA culture and non-FBA culture tends to butt heads, because our culture is to stay, fix, fight, build, develop. Other cultures outside of ours is not the same. And it's not the same because of the belief system. Their belief system is different. Their culture is different. Their upbringing is different. Their culture of assimilation, ours is of defiance and resistance. Our culture, our spiritual essence, and our belief system. As we continue to go, and again, y'all, there has been a beautiful story. Remember when I told you about the age of discourse? As we continue to go, when you punch down on people, like I said, I love TikTok. People tend to punch back. And as we in the age of discourse, honesty, integrity, openness, we have a lady right here talking bad about people struggling, and TikTok gives a vicious warning.
The most powerful skill you can
Hold on.
develop.
A school does not want
I'm
to
gonna go
admit
back
me.
to it. Y'all forgive me.
Y'all finna hate me, but this age of disclosure conversation on TikTok right now, I don't know how it popped up on my timeline because I'm usually on rich talk. I don't like to be on poor talk, struggling talk, and that's not me shaming somebody's struggle because I was just homeless 2 years ago, and now I'm up over 5 million by starting my own business.
Stop fucking lying. You did not make $5 million. You got a few followers on fucking TikTok and you think you know everything about business. You're a fucking scammer. I've looked through your shit. All you do is fucking scam.
Remember, y'all, when you talk down and punch down to people and you try to discredit other people, we are in an age where people are going to pull up on you. And forgive the brother for his language, but he pulls up on her and reads her a new one. For real.
Number one, you're not a fucking doctor. Stop fucking lying. And I've looked through all your other shit and you say you have a doctorate in psychology, but you never said where you got your doctorate from because you're a fucking liar. So you help brands bring six-figure companies, which is always fucking weird to me. Why does every fucking scammer always talk about making six figures for their company? Like,
and he didn't lie, y'all. Why do all scammers always have this outlandish six-figure thing? People don't understand that 6 figures is an accomplishment. Hit it, been there, right? Made it. It's not just a flex to say like it's so obtainable. And I understand money is hard to get. As somebody that makes great money, I would never choose to punch down or openly say anything down about somebody else's situation. I understand my route, the things I've chosen, how hard I work is not something I would want to put on anybody. It is something I enjoy to do because I like working. But to sit right here and say that I have to put my work ethic on other people, then punch down to them and call them broke talk, you deserved it.
honestly, if you tell somebody, oh, I can make you 6 figures, that's an automatic red flag that they're fucking lying and they're a fucking scammer. This is your fucking brand building website. No, I don't mean this is a page on her website. I mean, this is all her website is. This one fucking page on GoDaddy. Like, what the fuck is this? Of course, she sells a whole bunch of fucking courses. And in order to get...
And the course era, man, I get asked to coach, help, teach people, train people, and I don't feel comfortable doing it because of the course people, y'all. I'm keeping it funky. Once you're actually working, y'all, you're actually trying to build, you're trying to develop, it's hard to dedicate time to coach and help other people, especially when you got a family. Like, it's like, I guess I wouldn't mind doing it sometimes when it's convenient, but it's hard just to make a living off that to me. If you are in the battle, in the field, trying to work, trying to build a business, trying to create, coaching is something you do, I believe, as you age. But in your prime working years, I don't want to get coached by somebody that ages me. Does that make sense? If you're the same age as me, I'm not trying to say you can't coach me, but I'm trying to say I know mentally, spiritually, financially where I'm at, and I know I'm above the average bear. I would love to learn from someone that is exceptionally doing more than me. And at my age, I don't know many black men that are doing that all the time. Not saying there aren't any, but to do it at the level that I am, to have the influence like the level that I am, I think it would be hard to get there from that some of my age. So when I see people push that coaching stuff, this is just me, I think it's a red flag. Not saying they can't do it. Elderly people that are experienced, yes, but my age.
To her company website, you got to go through her link tree. I'm not saying anything bad about using Linktree. That's not what I'm saying. But if you're trying to promote yourself as a legitimate high-end business, if you have a Linktree, no one will take you seriously. Anyone who is in business knows this. You don't, because you're a fucking scammer.
That is very true. If you have Linktree, y'all, if you have Cash App, if you have a non-professional voicemail, if you don't have an email chain that you respond back to, if your hours of operations, you're late on it, if the people you respond to don't have a certain time point, if you don't have a follow-up letter, if you don't have an entry statement, if you don't pry and ask further questions, those are all signs that you are not serious about your business. For me, if I meet you and call you and you don't have a voicemail, I'm skeptical. If I email you and confirm with you and you don't respond to me the same day, I'm skeptical. If I have an appointment with you and I ask detailed follow-up questions and you don't respond with good morning, let me clarify, I'm skeptical. It's just me, y'all. Professionalism means you run a certain type of way. It doesn't mean it's a code for it. What I am saying is that if I'm a business person trying to handle business, I am going to take it to my upteenth level of importance. Don't tell me that it doesn't matter. Everything matters. Presentation matters. Phone etiquette matters. How you respond matters. Saying thank you matters. Presenting to myself matters. Every single thing matters, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm extracting their resources, which is time, value, and money from you, it matters. As somebody that runs it on myself, it matters. When I call you, if I say I'm going to call you at 10 a.m., I got to call you at 10 a.m. It matters. If I have a meeting with you and I'm running late, I need to call you 30 minutes prior to me running late to let you know that I'm running late. It matters. Your time, your respect, my customer base, it all matters. It really does. And I believe this brother keeps cooking.
She's got a course in Psychology 101. Mind you, she does not have a psychology degree. She is not a doctor, but she's going to sell you a course in psychology. Get the
And I want to stop it right there, man, because there is another video by Dr. Cheyenne Bryant that speaks on this even more. And as someone that's with a therapist that lives the mental health journey, that has someone that pushes the mental health journey, who has graduated from therapy twice, I truly believe therapy can be better, but it needs to be updated. I truly believe the skills, the talking points that people need to change how we do things. But I also believe that the therapy community must update and change to what Black people need and want. The old white style will not work, will not converse, will not translate. It needs to be adjusted to what Black people go through. And we have to be able to target when we see people say things and not understand credentials. Let me pause.
People listen to her because she's pretty. People listen to her because she's pretty, and there is a privilege in that.
She's talking about the lady, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. What Cheyenne Bryant did, y'all. She went on Joe Budden's podcast, and the only reason why I know about it, because like I said, my lady's a therapist, y'all. She's into the mental health realm. She's done a coursework. She's done an hour. She's done a 3,000 sit-down hours. She deals with family. She deals with relationships. And one thing I know is she put that work in to be where she is. So she wanted me to touch on this subject about Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, about why we must put requirements and coursework as a specific license criteria needs to be advocated for. So I want to watch this video that I'm going to break down why I believe that's so important. Share it live. Share it live.
Additionally, there's also an accountability with that, of which she will not ever have. And Cheyenne Bryant, you can come to the front, because I am a current graduate student getting my second master's degree in marriage and family therapist to ultimately become a licensed clinical therapist.
Can I say something, y'all? Not to discourage her, because she's a beautiful girl. I don't think you should be giving relationship advice if you ain't in no damn relationship. I know. I want my trainer fit. I want my coach as to be electable. I want my people to have some level of responsibility and resource from it. I'm not saying you can't be. I am simply saying relationship, therapist, people, you got to prove your skill sets too. I find it strange that you can be a marriage and family therapist, that you can be a clinical worker. I want you to have skin in the game. Now, I understand that academic studies are warranted. I believe that it matters. But I do believe I want to see a relationship too. I want you to have some semblance. You got to qualify yourself for me too. And the only reason why I learned from my lady, you should ask your therapist questions. You should vet them. You should ask them how do they feel about family dynamics. You should ask them how they feel about feminism. You should ask them what do they believe the role is of a man is. You need to vet your therapist like you do your nail-tician, your barber. Everybody, your doctor needs to be vetted, questioning, and they must prove themselves worthy of your service and your money. That's my take on them. Let them finish cooking.
For you to have the platform that you have, and for you to spew the harm that you are, all in the name of trying to communicate that you are a therapist, of which you are not. It befuddles me that you get on them people podcasts, and it's just also so interesting that it is always a man's podcast.
I don't know why that was a big deal for her. Maybe, you know, to me, that's a red flag right there. No shade. I think she's a beautiful girl. Whatever podcast you go on, it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman. It's just you're not giving and keeping it 1,000. Ultimately, what she's saying, but like I told you, I'm going to let it keep cooking.
It's always a man's podcast, but let's put that in the parking lot. You get on the people podcast and say, not that I can serve more, not that I can reach more, not that I can do more, that I can make more money, not being licensed.
I don't know about y'all. Social work, social programs are not a money-rich program. Can we keep it 100, y'all? Barbers, other professions, those are blue-collar career paths. I do not like how everybody that does a profession now think it has to be a rich, wealth-seeking thing. It's not. It's a blue-collar facility. It means you will need somebody to go through the path of life with. It means you are not going to make $250,000. It means a hairstylist should not be charging exorbitant prices. The same thing. You're blue-collar, you're pale, you're lunch pail, you're working class. It is nothing wrong with that. We have this initiative that I got my degree. I deserve to be overcompensated. That's what Dr. Cheyenne Bryant was talking. I'm not getting compensated to the level I want to due to my lifestyle. I'm not making as much money I want to due to my lifestyle. What they're not saying is that the lifestyle is not supposed to be outlandish. To all the mental health professionals in the world, you are working class. You are doing the God's work, the Lord's work. You are not a profit-generating, income-driven facility. You're not sales. You're not management. You're not retail. You are mental health, social work. Just like medicine to me. Medicine is not supposed to be for profit. Medicine is healing the body. You should not be making an exorbitant amount of income doing those professions. Just like politics. You are a service-based industry. Not saying you can't be a top 10% in your industry, but everybody, in my opinion, should not be money focused. What it do, baby? What it do? Fresh always. What it do? Let it keep cooking. Oh, man. Hold up, y'all.
People listen to her because she's ethical and just. And Dr. Raquel Martin, came on here, and all she said, all she communicated to the people was, hey, it's not about just this. Being a licensed clinician of therapy is a very nuanced situation that involves insurance. It involves whether or not you're going to private practice, sliding scale. There's a lot of things that live on the underlings of practicing in a way that is ethical to your clientele. To sit on them people podcasts, it pisses me off. Because now you have people like, I don't need my therapist to have a license. You do. You do. Why? The next clip that I see that was against my will on Threads is her explaining the most emotional experience that she had as a therapist was an 18-year-old child explains that her mother would pimp her out or prostitute her. And in this first session, after the session is ended and after this child communicates to her,
I'm not disagreeing with you about a lot of icons. I'm not saying that about the icons having hairstylists, y'all. I am not saying the top 10%. What I'm speaking on, Leon, is that we have a lot of the below 50% thinking they are iconic hairstylists. You found me? If you earn your keep, of course. But should Joe Blow down the street be charging $75 for a fade? Keep it funky. Should they? That's the question. You follow me?
All of this trauma, she says she stands up and says to the child, may I have a hug?
Now, that is a therapy lane. I don't know. And I believe that she offered a great example for all my mental health professionals in the world, but I'm going to break it down in the way I understand it. I don't believe what you talk about with somebody personally should be disclosed. I've had so many private, personal, intimate conversations with people, y'all. I would never disclose that. I would never say it. I would never talk about it. Whatever we talk about, one-to-one relationship will always be between us. I don't believe it's anybody else's problems or understanding to hear what me and my people talk about if we have that bond, that understanding, and that relationship. To get on any platform and discuss something that potentially happened with you and somebody in a professional setting, I believe ain't a good look. I don't believe it's a relationship is a good look. I don't believe it's a social is a good look. I just believe it's tacky. I believe there has to be a certain sort of respect that we have for one another. And I know everybody looks at stuff as content. Everybody looks at stuff as that what it is. I'm a content creator. I love content. What I do is intellectual discourse. But what I also like to do is I like to put a balance on it. A balance has to be, hey, yo, right now in the era we in, let's get back to privacy. For that to be a physician, a doctor, a licensed practicing professional, there has to be some sort of discretion. And I do believe you need to be licensed. I do believe you have to go through the steps and protocols. I do believe that I want you to have to go through the steps to maintain, to differentiate yourself. Why? That is how you prove your compensation. If any Joe Blow could say, I'm a rapper now, that's when it gets watered down. But once you have to have a studio, once you have to pay for the mixing, once you have to pay for the licensing, once you have to put in the work hours, once you have to go to their gym when it's uncomfortable, that is what qualifies you. Not you announcing to the world what you're doing, your commitment to what you're doing. I'm willing to pay any salary, any amount, if it's quality. The problem that we have now in the internet era is that I announce I'm something without proving my worth. Now, what it means is you'll burn out quickly. Your credibility will be lost. So you have to rebrand yourself. We see it all the time. But what happens is that a lot of people have to go to a lot more barriers to find that top percentage. As me, I make money. I do well because I understand the client is always first. Whatever the transaction is, y'all, I got a new book coming out called How to Sell. And the reason why I'm writing that book is inspired to me is because you got to learn how to sell your services. Sell your services, meaning how do you differentiate yourself? Do I sell my word? Do I sell my customer service? Do I sell my reaction time? Do I sell with my abilities? What this beautiful, articulate, mental health professional is talking about with Cheyenne Bryant is that the sellability factor is disingenuous. I'm offering a service, but I'm not getting this outcome. That is the problem that most people have right now when dealing with business. There is no outcome guarantee. There's money you got to spend, i.e. college, but there is no guarantee at the end that you will get compensated fairly for your actions and what you'll have from it. So that is where the issue currently resides in the marketplace. And you see it in every industry, y'all. It's not just mental health, what she was speaking about. You see it in finance. You see it in global activities. You see it in medical medicine. You see it everywhere. We see people saying the cost of billing goods served does not help me. And the reason why you see it all the time, I got an article for you. The student debt burden is so serious that many people that are from immigrant background are getting their degrees, then moving abroad and stop paying. What do you mean, King Crowder? I got my degree. I can't find no job. I'm going to just go back to where I'm from. If I leave this country and I know I have student debt that I owe you, does it matter now? America overinvested into other people's problems. Remember how I keep saying that we have not invested in our youth enough? We have not invested in our American citizens enough that are going to be dedicated to be here. We have made that investment to other people, and they are showing you why they leave. It's an article going around, y'all, right now that so many immigrant backgrounds are saying, yo, the student debt crisis is too much. I'm just going to leave. They literally go back to their foreign country, file bankruptcy, and leave it alone. Now, I know that's crazy. If you're from America, you would never do that. But that is the loop and gap that we're talking about. Facts on it, man. Facts on it. Right on point. I'm always, fam. I paid $16,000 to go to school out of my financial aid. Shout out to Leo DeVoe. I believe that's important. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm saying, y'all, I think that's important. But you got to remember, the problem that we have right now, we have people trying to circumvent the system. People are literally getting in debt from other places, y'all, and they're just leaving the country. Where does that debt go? That's why these schools will be foreclosing. If you saw earlier in my live when I said, yo, hey, these schools are going to have an issue. So if you have overinvestment in the immigrant community and they have the student debt crisis and they were not to pay their student loans, what's going to happen? The cycle has to constantly refeed and provide itself. And the people that are supposed to be paying back, and people that are supposed to be putting the money back into the systems are simply saying, I'm just going to leave. What's going to happen to the other systems that are going to be there? What's going to happen is that the burden is going to be placed more on the young people. Like I've told you earlier, y'all in the live. People of Gen Alpha and Gen Z are simply not playing that game. They are removing themselves. They are exercising their services. They're saying, nah, I'm going to leave it alone. That doesn't mean that we should not be wary of it. What it means is that the world is so different now. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. We don't have to respect it or warrant it. But what we have to do is acknowledge it, man. This point of view is scary. This subject is not going to be as transaction as we see in the future. What we have to do is predict where that leads down the line. And like I told you, my bold predictions, a lot of colleges that were there before will not be there at one point in time. Oh, ho, ho, as we get to our last 3 topics with another edition of Live on Sunday, share the live, comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Please share the live, share the live.
Share the live, share the live, share the live.
Did you ever know there was a discussion about the top 50 black sitcoms of all time? Let me read you the top 10. They have The Wire. I love that show. They have Martin. They have The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at number 3. They have The Cosby at number 4. They have Power at number 5. They have The Boondocks at number 6. They have Snowfall at number 7. They have Living Single at number 8. They have Everybody Hates Chris at number 9. They have A Different World at number 10. The top 10 shows for black cinema of all time. I believe that Power is not a sitcom. I don't believe it is. I do believe that The Wire is the greatest show of all time. But I do believe Family Matters needs to be up there a little bit higher. My opinion. I believe The Game needs to be up there. I believe the Wayans Brothers show. I believe the Hooglies. I believe the Cosby Show. I believe One-on-One needs to be up there. I believe they need to be in a different order. But I wanted to kind of gain and keep going for FBA shows. Hey, all the FBAs out there, if you had to give your top 15 black American shows of all time, what would you do? To me, The Wire is number 1. I would arguably say Family Matters maybe number 2. Martin is in the top 5. Fresh Prince is in the top 5. The Cosby Show's in the top 5. I do believe the Snowfall's in the top 10. I do believe Living Color. I do believe Everybody Hates Chris. And I do believe the Boondocks are up there. But what is your list? This is a great conversation that we need to spark and be spoken about. Black sitcoms of all time. Give me your top 10 list. Make sure you rank them, you describe them, you break them down, and most importantly, you tell me why you believe this subject needs to go on about something. Let me keep going, y'all. On our final 2 topics for the evening, man. This is about reparations. You know we love this subject. Reparations will happen in our lifetime. Remember, they said integration would never happen, but they lied. Remember, they say a lot of the services that we had would never happen, but they lied. But the one thing that is very interesting to me, y'all, is why do the people that did claim they weren't black, the people that claim they didn't benefit from it, why do they now want to speak up on our reparations claim? Let's take attention.
I don't think I'm African American. I'm a Black American. There has to be a difference between that man with that accent.
Talk to you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we have totally different ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I had to put it to my roommate like this, because my roommate was born in like Nigeria or something like that. So I had to tell him straight up, you think you black, but if they started giving black people reparations, do you think you would get a check? We had a different experience from our ancestors.
And ethnogenesis is the proper word.
All the way to now. That's why you're not black and I'm not African, because you wouldn't get a reparations check, but I would.
I don't think she is wrong. I think she explained it beautifully. If you want to cut through the meat and potatoes really quickly, I want you to say through this, y'all. The experiences for Foundational Black American are uniquely experienced to the United States of America. Jim Crow, the Black Codes, slavery, convict leasing, redlining are all specific ingredients that affected foundational Black Americans. Africans experienced colonizations in their country, and they need to get their version of reparations from the countries that colonized their specific country on the continent of Africa. The claims are different, but you need to go home to fix that issue. Being around us, trying to simulate with us, trying to benefit off the factors that we have going will not benefit you. It will only cause resentment. That is the easiest shortcut way to get past that subject. I don't give a damn how you feel. I'm going to tell you what you owe and what you think about it. And on a feel-good note, y'all know me. I'm going to go ahead and give you a video that's going to provide you some mental transferability through the week. Shout out to the sister, man. This is about a self-care, self-work remedy. I want you to pay attention to Crowd of Game.
Most powerful skill you can develop is to learn how to control your mood. You cannot spend your day reacting to what other people are saying and doing. As a matter of fact, I want you to say this. I am the thermostat, not a thermometer. Thermometers go up and down depending on what's happening in the room. Thermostats set the tone. You are the thermostat for your life. You control your emotions. Stop letting other people control you. You have full control. It's your mindset that's causing you to react to what other people are saying and doing. Let's cut that out and take full control of our lives.
Beautifully said. Let me expound on that, FBA family. Do not allow someone else's emergency to be your emergency. If there is an emergency for them, that is their emergency. What you have going on in your life, your focus, your families, your relationships, your household, that is a priority. What they are dealing with does not have to be what you have to deal with. It is a proper way to say no. That is a complete sentence. You don't have to expound. You don't have to explain. You don't even have to take a deep dive on why you feel that way. I said I can't do it, period. No, I am not available, period. No, I am not open, period. You do not have to explain yourself. You do not have to reevaluate yourself only to your immediate family. That meaning your husband, your wife, your children. That's it. Your extended family, you do not owe or require the loyalty that you give your immediate family to. Your requirement is you take care of home. Your requirement is you check on home. Your requirement is that you invest in home. Because at the end of the day, when you go through the path of life, the family you create will be the one that takes care of you. I know it's harsh. I know it's uncomfortable. And I know it is not easy to do. But in the times that we're in, you have to be selfish. Selfish meaning I prioritize the people that prioritize me. And remember, I don't have to respond to your emergencies. Your emergencies have to respond to me. So when I say no, when I say I can't do it, when I say I am busy, when I'm saying I don't have the money, you don't have to expound on it. Leave it there. Have the conversation. Say what you can and cannot do. Move the goalposts. Go about your business and enjoy your life. Do not allow people to try to control you based off the emotions that they are feeling, based off the energy that they feel, and based off the way they're currently living their lives. You feel me, Crowd of Gang? I want to thank everybody that got to tap in with me tonight, man. I sure did appreciate it. I appreciate y'all.
Standing on business.
I do, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me go ahead and get my outros. Hey, old book of the week. Remember, Things I Wish My Parents Would Have Taught Us is out on Amazon by King Crowder. My new book, How to Sell, should be out ASAP. I'll make sure I have the link and the opportunity. I'm working on the artwork now. I'm sending it to my first wave of editing. I should have something back for you ASAP that you can hear the information. Next up is the book of the week. Make sure you add it to your library if you haven't. Loopholes and tax holes, man. I know it's important. I hate finance too. I hate talking about money. I think it's boring. I know the importance of it. I know the reason why you need to create it and currently have it. I think it is a good thing, but I think this tax loophole book should be for you. If you have not got something that you don't learn how to get your business to the next level, your family plans to the next level, your estate planning, your legacy planning, the insurances, everything that we talked about that we got to learn about in school, man. If you are a father, read this book. If you are a mother, read this book. If you have children, read this book. If you have a small business that you're starting, that you're growing, read this book. If you have anything where you're dealing with money and you do not know how to allocate or properly move your resources around, read this book. Read this book. Look for a tax attorney. Start your on the process. I'm telling you, it will help you and it will change your life. Finally, like I'm always keep giving it to you, y'all. My bros basketball tournament will be taking place in Roanoke, Virginia. Trayvon Rashad Crowder, man, was murdered last year. He has his court date that I will be representing hard for. My baby bro basketball tournament at Wilmar Park will be taking place August 8th, 2026. Hopefully I can meet you there and beat you there, all Crowder gang. If you can't pull up, please show up and show out. Make sure you comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share what you say, people. I'm on the road to 3K, man. I'm trying to get there by the summertime. I'm off for the next 3 weeks because the baby girl is born. I'm trying to make sure I tap in. I do have a secondary channel I'm working on getting it going, y'all. We're moving all my history videos and placing it over there with animation and artwork titled Untold by King Crowder. I'm going to make this more clean. This is going to be my commentary live channel, live video, live format that I'm going to stick with, that I love, that I enjoy, particularly for FBA family, giving real-time updates on what the state of the culture is. The secondary channel, Untold with King Crowder, will be my historical documentation that I preferably love to do. I will be giving all Black history, diagnosed, truth, untold, unapologetically, starting from the inception of this country all the way until current. I will be leaping around to keep the curiosity, and it all will be kid-friendly. I promise you. I want you to tap in, y'all. Subscribe, share, like that channel. I'm getting it up going. I will be launching it Tuesdays and Thursdays with my video drops, roughly 8 to 20 minutes. Tuesdays and Thursdays with my video drops. I'm going to get the time frame. I'm going to get the video, and I'm going to have 3 months worth of content rolled up before it begins. So I want y'all to stay tuned, stay put, and I want the Crowder gang to, of course, share that channel. So most important, before you leave here, I want
share
you to
the live, share the live, share the live.
I want you to hype the video. I want you to comment, like, subscribe to the channel, and all of the above. Thank you for tapping in with me. I love you. I appreciate you. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the FBA mothers out there and all the women that held children. Remember, y'all create the portals of life. It is an outstanding accomplishment to be here and to spend time with you. While you are here, make sure you do it. Remember, you only have 20 more times with your parents. If you enjoy it, call, like, take the pizza. Until next time.